your mother. It's time for another episode of Birds with Friends. Just some high-flying, ran-fast vertical stems of professors from Penn watching eagles eat and pray like Pazookies on birthdays. It's Philadelphia, Marissa, Bo, and Zach kicking it. Cooler than 3 penguins till Zach runs off with his valet keys. He's a real nuanced goose. Pull up a branch, get loose. It's time for some juice on some
Birds with Friends.
The early bird gets the worm, but prefers getting turned like a turn on some
Birds with Friends.
Marissa, Bo, and Zach are here to squawk. Don't miss the mistress talk on some.
I have a radio hit that I'm late for. I'm gonna give my prediction. You guys can stick on. Is that okay?
Unbelievable. Now we find out who has priority. This is ridiculous.
We've been on for an hour and 35 minutes.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Looking forward to the post-game pod.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Birds with Friends on a Friday afternoon, 2:33 p.m. The in the chat put the over-under, I think, at like 2:36. We hit the under. We're in regular season form because it is a regular season Friday, Zach. We are 2 days away from the Eagles' season opener in Foxboro against Bill Belichick and the New England Patriots. How you feeling?
Doing great. Excited for this pod. Excited for this week. A lot to get into here. I just need to change my AirPods real quick.
Oh my gosh!
There I go.
How long have we been doing this show, Zach?
No, so the issue was I'm recording, and if I didn't have my AirPods in, then you would get feedback on the recording. Doing great and excited for this podcast. Football is here. We've been waiting all season. We've been waiting. The last time we had a game like a real meaningful game to discuss, you and I were in Phoenix, delirious, lack of sleep.
You were making excuses for the guy who's still in Phoenix, which we'll talk about later in the show.
That's a Jonathan Gannon reference. Okay. All right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. How you doing? We got a lot to get to. We got the Crow Thine Enemy about this Patriots team. We have the very first swooper of the 2023 season. We will have the professor himself, Daniz, joining us. He's also going to give us some scoring updates on the Crystal Bald Eagle draft from our last episode. We'll have our Crystal Bald Eagle predictions for the game. We got a lot to talk about, Zach. What did you make of the atmosphere at the NovaCare complex today?
Well, today or this week. Let's say this week. This team's ready.
Sure, you be the host.
I don't know how you would take umbrage to such a comment. This team's ready. It's like let's just get this season started, right? They're healthy. There's no notable injuries going into the season, as we discussed on our previous pod. I think that this is a matchup that they're prepared for. Yeah, I think this is one of those weeks where it's like, all right, we've been talking about you for 6 weeks. We've been talking about the season for 6 months. Let's get to it. Let's get to football.
Before we get to football, Zach, can I give you a little update on the last hour and a half since I last saw you, since I left the NovaCare complex?
Yeah, sure.
So I'm leaving. We got a game in New England, obviously. I opted this week for, instead of the flight, I've got some family up along the route. I'm going to stop in. This is the last time I'm going to be stopping in at my childhood home, where my dad is getting ready to close the sale next week.
Congratulations.
Stop there. I'm going to stop and sleep over at my sister's place in Connecticut. Then I've got my whole maternal side of the family that's in Boston. I'm going to hang out with them on Saturday. So I figured I'm going to go rental car for the drive up, and I will then fly home on Monday. So I leave the NovaCare complex. I got my my thrifty Volkswagen that I picked up this morning from the airport, making that turn from Broad Street onto 95 North. And you know how there's the 2 lanes there as it curves around the bend before you get to the Navy Yard? This woman just rams into me.
Oh, goodness.
Just rams into me. Like she doesn't know that there's a car next to her and she's just floating into the next lane. So,
are you okay?
I'm fine. The car, the door is fakakta. It's still drivable. Like it's not that bad.
Are you going back to
But what
the
do I
rental
do
car?
now? Because
You got to go back to the rental car place.
do I have to? I don't want to. I don't have the time to do that. Who's got the time for that?
I mean, we didn't have
I
to
think
do
I
the
gotta just
pod.
drive this lemon up to Boston. Right? I mean, it's fine. But now I'm gonna have to do all this paperwork too.
Yeah,
Like,
seriously.
we exchanged. I felt bad for her. She's like, I'm sorry, I'm on my way to the dentist, and I was looking at the GPS. Now, this was a very much the kind of thing that Sheil is warning about nonstop. She was looking at her phone to figure out where to go, and did not have her head on a swivel. I felt bad for her. She's having a tough day, obviously, but I mean, what am I doing here?
Yeah, so I really think we should.
I'm gonna have to do all this insurance stuff. Ugh.
I really think what the path is here is to go to the airport, to exchange the rental car, take care of it on this side of the operation. You'll still get to New York in time tonight. The Connecticut part for your sister. So can you sleep in New York, or is everything moved out?
Okay, I guess I gotta go to the rental place right away.
That's what I would say. I mean, you got a door banged in. You don't want to drive to Boston with that.
Okay, all right. I'm getting texts from people who are watching telling me that that's what I have to do. Like I got to do this right away.
So wait, so let's just confirm this. My feedback does not matter, but these phantom texters, that's what matters.
Yeah, I mean it's also further confirmation. It's
Who are the texters?
Jeffrey.
Figured as much.
Yeah, he knows what's up.
Yes.
So yeah, that's how my day's going. How about you?
Well, I'm sorry to hear that. You're my friend. I don't like hearing when you get hit. I'm happy you're okay. But that's sad.
It's one of those ones where like you're like, wait a second, this car's a little too close to me. What are they doing? What are they doing? And then it's just whack. Like, I'm right here. I've been here the whole time.
and you strike me as someone who's not very like sympathetic or empathetic in that case.
I take offense to that.
No, you strike me as like an angry, and rightfully so. If you get struck, you're probably angry.
Oh no, I the opposite. I was extremely empathetic. I felt bad for her, but also she was driving like a moron. But yeah, I didn't get out of the car and start yelling at her.
Yeah, gotcha.
I can't believe that's what you think I would do. You think so little of me.
Well, I mean, perhaps the inverse is true because, I'm usually fairly mild mannered in these type. I'm like not I don't raise my voice very often. I was driving back on Broad Street before the 2016 draft because I remember I was about to go to Chicago, and the other person just so I'm on Broad Street, I'm in the left lane. The other person just changes lanes right into my car.
Right. Exactly. That's exactly what happened.
And I got out and I'm like, oh my, what the?
I've been here.
Happened. Yeah, that's how I was. I was like, and the person's like,
this is interesting. So you would, so like the outside opinion might be that you would be the nice guy and I would be the mean guy, and it was the opposite.
No, I was not like empathetic at all. Like the guy was like, oh, I'm sorry. I'm like, what? I was like, you could have killed me, man. Well, he's like, chill, we're on Broad Street or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, killing's okay on Broad Street. That's...
No, he meant like we weren't going fast.
I understand the implication.
But just the entire side of my car was swiped, and I went right to one of those body shops on Washington Avenue, and I was furious because and then I remember being in Chicago covering the Carson Wentz draft, and I'm on the phone with the insurance company, and you got to prove that it's not your fault. I'm like, I was in the left lane. It was not my fault at all. Anyways, back to the regular schedule programming. I'm sorry that occurred.
Okay, fair enough. All right. Well, I guess we got a lot to catch up on, Zach. So why don't we let me find the graphic here. We'll send it over in just a second to the Stone Cold Newsman himself, Zach Berman, a man who never wants to be the news himself, but we'll see.
The Philadelphia Eagles completed their final practice of the week, preparing for Sunday's game against the New England Patriots. The Eagles seem to have a fully healthy slate. As we discussed, the injury report should come out during this show, but they haven't had anyone out with injuries, just illnesses. So we will monitor what occurs there. Otherwise, the big news this week has been something that's not hard news, but certainly compelling news. And that is in The Athletic, Zach Kiefer, the outstanding senior reporter, has a story on Jonathan Gannon, the former Eagles defensive coordinator, current head coach of the Arizona Cardinals, in which Jonathan Gannon essentially claimed credit for offering the idea for Nick Sirianni to give up play calling to Shane Steichen in the 2021 season. So that is a piece of news. That is a piece of news that we can get to in the next block. After the New England Patriots are dealing with some injuries on the offensive line, we will see how that injury report bears out. And it is Tom Brady Day in New England on Sunday, so we will be there to recognize the celebration of the greatest football player in NFL history. Back to you in the studio, Bo.
Thanks, Zach. And that's all the news that you have to share. Is that right?
That's all the news I have to share right now. Yes. Yes.
Okay. Well, I'll keep pushing you as the episode goes on in that case.
I'm following your lead, Bo. You're the host.
Yeah, no, I just tried to lead you. So you're not, but that's okay. The Gannon thing, Zach.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, a great story by Zach Kiefer, one of our best. A great writing lesson for all you prospective journos out there in letting the subject hang themselves with their own words. Some absolutely wild stuff in there from Gannon. And this is not me trying to needle you. I am legitimately curious, as someone who has long been a Gannon defender and saying that he gets a bad rap. What is your impression of the kinds of things that he was saying in that article? Some of the things in there which unequivocally cannot be true.
Well, the one we discussed, my understanding is it did not occur like that. That it was Jonathan Gannon's idea. But look, I think I can't speak for Zach or for Jonathan. I imagine sometimes Jonathan gets rolling, and he probably said he was speaking. I don't know. It's really hard for me to say. I can't. I don't want to call him a liar. I mean, there's different versions of the truth, because the reality is it's like the TV show The Affair, okay, which I've never watched, but I remember one year my wife watched it, and I asked her the premise of the show, because I was a little concerned that she was watching a show called The Affair, and
Sure.
and she said that it's like there's two different versions of the same story here, and it could be that I'd like to. There's an expression I use often in my house about conversations is that everybody's the protagonist of their own story, right? Everyone thinks, everyone kind of thinks that like what's happening to them is a big deal, right? And everyone's the protagonist of their own story in that regard. It's if you're familiar with the movie The Paper Chase, have you ever seen it?
No.
Probably not. Okay. It's about a professor. Professor Selman would probably appreciate it. And this guy thinks, I don't want to spoil the ending, but it's like a 50-year-old movie. This guy basically thinks like the professor's out to get him. The professor doesn't like him and that kind of thing. And then at the end of the movie, the professor had no idea who he was. Right. So I hope I'm remembering that correctly. So so maybe a conversation occurred that Jonathan remembered, but I don't think that was the impetus of it. Elsewhere in the story, I didn't find it as much egregious as you did. Why don't you share what you might have found egregious in there?
Well, first of all, I think I love the idea that your cultural reference point for the idea of a storytelling device that features multiple narratives is The Affair and not like Rashomon or something like that.
What's Rashomon?
You got some work to do. That's okay.
I'm gonna Google this real quick.
But yeah, there was a lot of stuff in there. Like he's making fun
Rashomon's a 1950 film. I have some work to do that I didn't see
classic.
this 1950 film.
Well, I think I believe that to be like the generative work of that device.
I don't know. Chat, can you help me here?
Well, it certainly predates The Affair.
Sure. I should have. Okay.
Now, there are a few wild things in there. Like he's making fun of Steichen for the motivational posters. That's fine. Like on the record, he's saying like just in the very beginning, as long as I'm here, Kyler's going to be my quarterback. Like, okay, don't believe that. Although maybe that's because he knows he may not be there very long. But him saying like he was very surprised at how good of a coach Nick is. That's a wild thing to say.
That's a backhanded compliment. That's a backhanded compliment. Look, I'm very surprised how much I enjoy doing Birds with Friends. So let's put it that way.
Wow.
Right.
And that's why you're pulling the plug.
Let's stay on the show right now.
That is the show. This is the show.
Let's stay on the show. Let's stay on the show.
We got a lot to get to.
Yeah, we'll get to it after the break.
Why would we get to it after the break? Let's talk about it now. You have an announcement to make.
Bo, we have it. We discussed doing this before Swooper. Okay?
No, yeah, this is before Swooper.
We didn't even get into the matchup yet.
All right, what do you want to talk about matchup-wise? Patriots have a good defense and a bad offense.
Okay, yeah. So a few things with this matchup here. Yeah, the offensive line of the Patriots is a weakness that the Eagles have a decided advantage with their defensive line against the Patriots' offensive line. I think that when you look at it, the Eagles they're vulnerable in the middle of the field on defense, linebacker, safety. I'm expecting Justin Evans to be the starter at safety for the Eagles. But that's where I imagine the Patriots are going to test. It's this cliche whenever you play Bill Belichick, they're going to take out your best player. Who do you take out? AJ, Devontae, Dallas, Jalen Hurts' legs. It's really hard to pick when you pick your poison when you play against the Eagles. They had last year.
What did Bill Belichick take away in the Super Bowl, by the way?
What did he take away in the Super Bowl? And
Matt Patricia for that. I don't know.
Maybe
I get it. Like it's one of those things where like you play Mike Zimmer, you got to talk about the double A gap blitz. But like Bill Belichick's going to take away what you do best. Like just because he did that 30 years ago, it doesn't mean he can just snap his fingers and make that happen in this game.
Yeah. So the Patriots were vulnerable last season to mobile quarterbacks. Chad Graff had a good nugget on the Athletics live blog regarding that. The game Lamar Jackson had last year against him, the game Justin Fields had against him last year. So maybe it's Jalen Hurts' legs. But honestly, I think the Eagles have a decided advantage in this game. I think they're the far superior team. I'm surprised. It's a 4-point spread. It was 3.5, 4. And I know it's week 1 on the road. New England can be, but the Patriots lost their last 2 home openers, number 1. Number 2, I don't think this Patriots team's that good. Although I will say I spoke to Lane Johnson today. He called Matthew Judon like the most underrated defensive player. So they have a really good defense. But in any event,
heavy hands. That's what everybody says about Matthew Judon. Anvils for hands.
Okay. Yeah. So I think the Eagles are. We'll get to our predictions at the end of the show, but I think the Eagles are the much better team with the matchups. The one qualifier here, and we discussed this, we have an email exchange coming out tomorrow morning on The Athletic, is special teams. And the Eagles have a lot unknown on special teams right now. Their personnel is going to be considerably different. Last year's top special teams players, Sean Bradley, Zach McPherson, are on IR now.
So last year, the Eagles were the youngest special teams group in the league by like a wide margin, by a mile. This is their decision that they make in roster construction. And even from year to year, last year, the 7 people who took the most snaps on special teams last year, only one of them is likely to be a core special teamer this year, and that is Patrick Johnson. Now, Nakobe Dean is one of those people. We expect that he won't be playing quite as many snaps, but he'll probably be involved to some degree. Christian Ellis didn't qualify for that top 7. He will still be involved, but everybody else, like you said, Zach McPherson's gone. Kayvon Wallace is gone. Kyron Johnson is gone. Sean Bradley is gone. There's one other person who's gone. Like, even the very, very young special teams is
Zach
going
Pascal,
to be even younger, right? And so, yeah, I mean, I would expect that the Patriots should have a significant advantage there, but it's also the least important of the 3 phases. So we'll see what happens.
True. But, I do remember talking to Mark Sanchez before the last time the Eagles played in New England, and I did like a piece for the Inquirer at the time. I used to work at the Philadelphia Inquirer, where
what's it like to used to work somewhere?
Where, well, it depends. I love my time at the Inquirer. Yeah. Go
ahead, finish the thought.
The page. So, one thing he mentioned was special teams. So, I'm curious to see if that's a place where the Eagles have some type of miscue, and we'll get to that during Swooper as well.
Okay. And now listen, it is definitely true that week 1s are weird. You saw what happened last night. That was a weird game. Last year's week 1 against the Lions was a weird game. That was, a different game than the Eagles played the rest of the season. So was the week 1 game the year before in Atlanta. You're smiling at something. I'm curious what you're getting.
When I'm talking, I don't look at the chat. When you're talking, sometimes
when you're talking, you don't listen. Is the
when you're talking, I look at the chat sometimes, and I feel bad. This show is not going the way I anticipated. I thought we were going to stick to more of like an organized flow here.
I don't know. In 5 years of doing this show, what would have given you that impression? I mean, truthfully.
Touche.
You didn't think this was going to get off the rails?
I certainly did not expect this to get off the rails. No, I thought today of all shows we would be organized.
Now, what do you mean by today of all shows?
Are we going to get to a break, or should we do this now?
No.
Okay.
Is there anything else you want to talk about the matchup?
With the matchup,
I think the Patriots will be better on offense than we probably anticipate. And now there's a weird thing going on with Ramondre Stevenson, right? He was not at practice today.
Oh, I haven't seen that yet. Actually, that's interesting. Okay.
Some reporter you are.
I wasn't on Twitter as much today.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I expect that they will be better, and I think that this Eagles defense is not necessarily going to hit the ground running. I think they will take some time, but it's like I feel the same way about this game that I feel about the arc of the season as a whole, which is that I think there are a lot of things that could, regress to the mean, and there are a lot of little things to worry about. But at the end of the day, I'm going to put my faith in Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith and Dallas Goedert and a great offensive line. So that's how I feel. All right, let's unburden yourself.
I'm not. Oh, this was your idea to do this on today's show. So how about you start, and then I'll contribute. You're the host.
Let's see. Where do we begin, Zach? Do we begin at the beginning? All those years, 2017, when Sheil Kapadi and I invented the show Birds with Friends. At some point along the way, over the past couple weeks, Zach, you decided that this was no longer for you. Is that right?
No, Bo, come on, please. I'm asking of all things like that.
Are you taking the Broncos job? Is that what this is?
No. Come on.
You're going to make Emily move to the Mile High City?
Definitely we're not. No, definitely not the case.
Okay, so what was the Broncos deal? I guess I don't know. Maybe you don't want to talk about that. You're not going to Denver?
I'm not going to Denver. No.
Okay. Are you starting? Are you covering a different team? Are you Mr. National Writer now?
All right. Because now this is just getting to be awkward podcasting, and I don't like awkward podcasting. I like good, efficient podcasting. Okay. I certainly don't want to speak on your behalf, but I suppose
Yeah, I'm not going anywhere.
What?
Go ahead.
No. So I'll get more into this next week, but Bo and I are both leaving.
You can't speak for me. Speak for yourself.
Okay. Seriously, right now? All right. I'll just say, look, I mean,
we've already been scooped on this.
Yeah. But no, I mean, look, we'll have more next week. For now, I'll just say that
you have decided.
I'll say that
the restrictions of not being able to talk about politics are too burdensome.
No, actually,
you want to have a little bit more freedom to do so. Is that right?
No, the past 4 years have been an absolute joy. I love the Athletic. Like I say that I don't use that word love lightly. I love the Athletic. I have great affection. This place means so much to me, and I'm so proud of the work that we've done here. It's an amazing place. I'm appreciative to everyone who subscribed, who followed our coverage. It was an endless and exhilarating task to find distinctive stories to share, to chronicle some of these great moments, to provide perspective in a way that's worthy of your subscription. And I'm in awe of the work of my colleagues. I mean, the loyal Birds with Friends listeners know how many times I will cite a story that I read that day that someone wrote because like the best sports writing is here. It was an honor to share. It's been an honor to share Masthead with them. I mentioned Birds with Friends, and I knew when I was coming here in 2019 that the task was to write these compelling stories. I did not know how.
Of course, remember what a creative heater you were on that year.
I did not know then, frankly, how large of a role the podcast would have in my life and in my job description. I actually don't know if it was supposed to have as large of a role in my job description, to be honest with you. But working with you and Sheil,
or if the burden of the show itself was then reflected upon your value to the company. But
yeah, you and Sheil were incredible. I thought 2020 we were doing well. It was a horrible time in our country, but I thought
I'd say the world, but
yeah, in the world, sorry, the world. But I thought our shows then really kind of hit a stride. We had Marissa, among others, but Marissa in particular, making it, fun every episode. And so without getting into specifics and without speaking on your behalf, because we can get more into it next week, but we can channel the Birds with Friends spirit, like what has made this show and this community special, and potentially take it, lean into that while still writing the stories you want to read. So anyways, we'll get to that at another point, but that's my piece. This weekend will be my last weekend at the Athletic. I'll be in New England covering the hell out of the Eagles-Patriots game, like giving my finest work until the end. I love it here. It's an amazing place. But stay tuned for what's next for both Bo and me. I don't want to speak on your behalf.
Okay. I will break kayfabe a bit.
Okay.
And I will say that when you informed me that you were leaving the Athletic, you thought you were getting rid of me, and much to your chagrin, that will not be the case. So I will. This is also my last week last weekend at the Athletic. I have nothing but fond memories of the time. I'm proud to have been here from the start, and we'll see where we go next. You'll have to stay tuned for that. But Zach and I, unfortunately, are a package deal.
Unfortunately. Yeah, I mean, I gotta say, well, that was much more succinct than mine. But yeah, for someone who like
The only
takes
thing
a
I can
beating,
promise. What's that? Go ahead.
I said for someone who like takes a beating, I'm really loyal to you.
That's true.
Yeah. I mean, it's like I say I'm with him, man. But yeah, no, we will stay together, and we will we'll get the more details. But I'm excited for what's ahead for us.
We'll say the details. The only thing I can tease is that very much like the launch of ESPN the magazine back in the day, this is going to be, no swimsuits, no bikinis, all nude.
What?
You don't remember those commercials? Those are great commercials.
vaguely familiar with it. All right.
We're gonna give a
I thought your approach to this was gonna be a little different.
We're gonna give some company a free roll here. Whatever ad break I can find, they're gonna get a free one, and then we'll be back on the other side with the professor himself, Daniz, to talk about Crystal Bald Eagle predictions and the first, maybe the only swooper of the year.
This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. We've all faced crossroads in life when we don't know which path to take. It might be a career change or something in your relationship. Whatever it is, therapy can help you map out your future and trust yourself to find the way forward. Therapy is helpful for learning positive coping skills and how to set boundaries. It empowers you to be the best version of yourself, and it isn't just for those who've experienced major trauma. It can be for anyone. If you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist and switch therapists anytime for no additional charge. Let therapy be your map with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/BWF today to get 10% off your first order. That's BetterHelp.com/BWF.
All right, we are back on Birds with Friends, Bo and Zach, and we have the man himself now, Daniz. Welcome to the show. And you've got, for the audio listeners,
how are you guys?
The retro, beautiful Birds with Friends t-shirt, the original with Bo and Shil Kapade, which I can only imagine is a bit of a response by you to Zach calling you dumb the other day.
Yeah,
What?
I mean that hurt, Zach. We've hung out, and I thought we were friends. And
We are.
First
Wait,
chance.
when
you
did
had,
I ever say dumb?
First chance you had to insult my intelligence.
Not the hatchet
just
was
directly,
buried.
You just jumped right on it, but that's okay.
What was the
That's all right.
reference?
It was during the draft.
I'm pretty sure Bo said something like, "Well, Daniz is smart," and you said, "No, he's not."
I did?
It was something like that. Something along those
Shulman,
lines.
you are beyond smart. Like you're a practical
No,
genius
it's too late
from my
now. I mean,
standpoint.
what matters is what you say when I'm not there. So, I already
I agree
heard
with
that. And
Character counts.
Character is what you do when no one's watching,
Yeah.
as John Wooden said.
Yeah, that's right.
Now,
That's right,
Daniz,
that's right.
you have
Hey guys,
a role.
I missed the beginning of the show. Like, what have you guys been up to? Are there any, like anything new going on? Or
Well, that's what I was going to say.
So-
You now have an opportunity to be the voice of the sicko. Can maybe you should put us on press conference, and we can try to be as vague as possible, while answering your questions nonetheless.
Oh,
Yeah, let's
man.
try this.
Oh man,
I'm not prepped for this, but I'll do it.
do you really want me to do that?
If you want to.
So what can you say about what's coming next? Are you guys going to be continuing to cover the Eagles, or?
I can say that Zach and I will continue to work together and covering the Eagles in a certain capacity. And beyond that, I can't get into it. But I'm very excited about what's to come.
Okay. All right.
Does that work,
Would you
Zach?
say we're going to be seeing more of you or less of you?
I would say if you were to like play back the last several episodes, you might get a few hints about like the tenor of what is coming.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I will say if you enjoy watching Birds with Friends, then you're in for a treat. If you think that you see too much of us as it is,
or if you're of the opinion that Zach was right all those years ago about he only wants just football and tighter episodes, we'll see.
Well, no,
what about in the largest profile version of this since Roger Federer left Nike, and everyone wondered would he be able to carry his logo to whoever he went to, and he was not able to. I'm curious if you will be able to carry the Birds with Friends name to your next stop.
That I legitimately cannot comment on.
Okay. Got it. All right. Well, I don't want to put you on the spot too much.
Next question.
Okay.
I wasn't prepared for this either. So.
All right. Let's.
Now you know how I feel every episode. Yes.
Why don't we start, Deniz, with your scores of the Crystal Bald Eagle predictions, and so we can get on the record what we're both rooting for this season.
Okay, I'm already on the record as saying that this is my least favorite assignment of
Mine
the year,
too.
Professional or hobby or otherwise.
Really?
I never wanted to do this ever. She'll forced me to do it 2 years ago. I don't know why. And then I was just like, not a single person liked any of the scores I gave. Like I was just yelled at by everybody. And then last year.
I only yell at people who hit my car.
You guys made me do it live. Like I didn't even have any time to think about like each of the things. And that was a disaster. You're both yelling at me. The chat's yelling at me. Everybody I know told me afterward I did a terrible job.
You don't like getting yelled at. Okay.
And so now I'm back for a third one. And my coping mechanism with this is I thought about each one as little as possible. Right? So I did not do a lot of work in, like digging up old stats or anything like that. But I did something, so I can. If I don't have the order here, so if you tell me the.
I don't even remember. I don't have it written down.
Oh, okay. I have them written down. They're just not in the order.
Okay, yeah. Do whatever you got to do.
Okay. So I'll go in order from least bold to most bold for each of you.
Okay.
Does that sound
good? Okay, sure.
That works.
In my opinion. So first of all, Bo, at some point before she officially is off parental leave, Marissa Dunn will appear on Birds with Friends. Now, there is no chance that you had not already arranged this to happen.
What are you talking about? There's only 2 shows left. We're still doing the post-game pod Sunday. So
you only need her to appear once. You've already mentioned that there's Swooper today. You've announced that it's like the last show ever or whatever you just announced. So
she has a baby. She doesn't have time for this.
I cannot imagine a world in which you did not already arrange for her to be on the show. So this is the first.
It's ever. Not my agency. It's up to her.
The first ever.
I don't control Marissa.
This is the first ever Crystal Bald Eagle submission ever to receive 0 points. 0.
That's not fair. It's got to be at least 1 point.
I think it technically has to be at least 3. That was one of Shield's rules, but I feel like this one.
How about it breaks a tie? Because otherwise, I would get another entry.
Well, I mean, you had a choice to use a more honest entry, I thought.
Yeah,
but okay.
But
I don't want to get
Zach's got Jalen Hurts rushes for a touchdown.
Yeah, so let's get to Zach. The Eagles use more than one punter this season.
Yeah.
I mean, I want to give it 2 points. Like, I think it's supposed to be at least 3, but let's go with 2 points on that one. Really, really high chance that happens. I mean, just it happened last year. Aaron Sipos isn't even on the 53-man roster. Like, it's like they're trying out punters every day. Like any one of many things could happen that lead that to happen. So I just think it's very likely.
You can't go broke taking a profit, right?
Right. Like,
Right.
What if Marissa Dunn were to show up? How about this? What can I offer? Can I offer a compromise? What if Madison Dunn came on the show? Would I at least get 1 point for that?
Yeah, I
that's
think we'd
fair.
have to just for the cuteness factor, we'd have to maybe
right.
do something like that. But again,
Ladies and
I
gentlemen,
don't even
please
wanna be
welcome
doing this.
Marissa
Like, I
and
don't know.
Madison Dunn to the
Yeah.
show.
Come on, you had to know it was coming. Hello, sickos.
Oh, Marissa, so nice to see you in Madison.
Wait, your bow is going down. Okay, so unfortunately, her Birds with
Your
Friends
bow is
shirt-
going down. Yes.
her Birds with Friends shirt is in New Jersey. So unfortunately, we had to go with a Sunday Fun Day shirt. But we couldn't
Awesome.
not show up on this podcast. I mean, you guys are leaving me? What the heck is this?
Maybe we'll be
Marissa-
back by the time you're back. Who knows?
Marissa, you're tugging at my heartstrings right now. Okay.
Marissa, we love you. How are you?
Yes.
I'm great, but I need to hear the rest of these rulings from Diniz.
Okay.
Oh my god.
And then we can get to Swooper.
Maybe do you want to make some of the rulings instead of me?
We can see what Madison thinks. Although Michael
Maybe
is
Madison
standing by
can
just in
decide.
case I
Yeah.
need to hand her off.
If you
Marissa,
want
unlike-
to move on, we can,
unlike
you
Zach-
can just tweet him.
What?
Unlike
Unlike
Zach,
Zach,
let's keep-
Marissa,
yeah.
I'm very happy to see both of you, both
Thank
you
you.
and Madison.
Thank you. We're very excited to be here. A little sad. Obviously, I've known and I've been listening to these Easter eggs in the past few pods. So if anyone wants to go back and listen, you will hear Bo dropping them, but I'm sure they'll get to more of that. I don't know. I don't want to share anything that they can't share. So
My
happy
favorite
to
was
do
Bo trying to get Shield to say something emotional about the show.
Yes.
When none of the listeners had any idea that it was going to be like the last time it was the three of them, and Shield's like,
Well,
"What? No,
it might not be the last
time." It's great.
So does
All
Bo
right.
get the
Do you
point?
feel like running down this list here, Dennis, or would you rather just tweet it out and then we'll get to Swooper?
No,
You
we
spent
can
time
go
doing
through it.
Okay.
Yeah, well, a little bit. Jalen Carter finishes in the top three in the Eagles in sacks. I thought that was a 5-pointer just because of all the history of rookie defensive tackles not getting a lot of sacks. The fact that there are a bunch of edge rushers who are expected to get sacks as well. Eagles lose at least 2 director level or higher front office executives. I thought that was only a 4 because I think the Eagles are going to be very good, and it's just the kind of thing that happens, like with good teams. And there are plenty of candidates, as you guys mentioned. The Jack Stoll thing. I mean, Bo, are you still going to be? So here's another question: are you still going to be going to pressers in your new role?
I cannot be the one to ask.
That heavily changes what this how likely it is. That
I think implicit is I cannot be the one to ask the question.
Okay, got it. Yeah, it's still, I don't know. It's still like 4 because I think anytime anyone asks anything about Jack Stoll, that's what he's going to say.
but
So
come on,
it's
I
just a
feel
matter
like-
of someone asking about Jack Stoll.
I am
don't know
now
if he has
fighting the urge
another
to
line
yell at you
about
for
Jack
these
Stoll.
rulings.
Yeah, no, I mean, again, like that's the tradition is that I make the ruling and everyone hates them. So the Jets beat the Eagles. That's like the result of one game. Like that doesn't seem very bold. That's I don't know. I
Thank
think
you.
the Jets are going to be bad, but still, it's only one game.
It's never happened in the history of the world.
Yeah, no, I know. I won't say anything about sample size here, but yeah, it's still, I don't know. 4 points, I'll say, for that one. One of the Bo Wolf Camp Crush Core 4 leads the defense and tackles. I actually think that one's a 6. I don't think any of those guys are very likely. Like, I think with Nakobe Dean playing, I don't think none of those guys are. Yeah, I mean, I hope Reed Blankenship is not leading the team in tackles. That wouldn't be good. So that's 6. Jalen Hurts sets the single season touchdown record. I'll give that a 6 as well, just because it's so much higher than what he's done in the past. Eagles losing back-to-back games more than once. I'll give that a 5, just because the schedule's kind of hard. We can get to that later if you guys want to talk about the schedule. And then the Eagles beating the 49ers with a backup. That was the only one that actually seemed bold to me. Like, it's a very specific thing. So I gave that a 7. Okay. And I'm done. So.
Okay. Marissa, how are you?
I'm great. I'm so happy to be with you guys. I am a little sad that this is
treat.
like my last pod with you guys, but excited to be here and excited to win one more round of Swooper. I mean, I am the reigning champ. So.
Listen, we don't have a producer right now, so I can take you off if I need to.
I know. I'm actually not logged in the back way. Like I had to like log in as a guest, which was very weird. So yeah, that's scary. And I can't like monitor the comments the way I used to. So it should be interesting. But I'm ready for Swooper.
All right. Should we get to it? Does anybody need a refresher on the rules? Zach, I'm looking at you.
No, I'm good, Bo. Thank you.
Okay. We all got 24 turkeys.
Okay.
I guess if Swooper were to carry on somewhere else that these turkeys would carry over, but if not, use them or lose them. So we will each, the three of us, have 3 prompts, and Denise will also be responsible for 3. Zach, I will let you go first as the defending last place person in Swooper.
Was I last place last year?
Yes. Followed by Marissa and then me.
Okay, let me pull up my doc with everything in it here because I did prepare. Okay.
Madison has left the building.
Yeah, I figured, I have to buckle down here.
Now,
This
did you hand her off to a mother or a football player?
A football player, who his car got hit this week too.
Really?
But it was parked. Yeah. And the woman left a very nice note. She filed.
I wonder if it was the same woman.
Yeah. So crazy, and things happen in threes. So Zach, Denise, I hope you guys aren't next.
We just got a new car, so I really hope.
Or me.
Our first new car.
Last thing I need right now is something else in my mind.
Wait, what's on your mind, Zach?
Zach, how would you say, just generally, you've been handling looming life change over the past couple of weeks? What would Emily's response to that be?
Exhaustive, not yeah, not as effectively as I typically am, right? So yeah, I think I don't know, we don't need to get into details here, but like I said, I'm very fortunate that I have a place that I've really enjoyed working, and I have a place that I'm really excited to go to. So put it that way.
Okay. Go ahead.
So Tom Brady's ceremony lasts longer in minutes than Patriots points.
Do we know if it's pregame? It is pregame?
That I don't know.
I think it's halftime.
It's halftime.
Okay.
So
then there is
I was looking for the Patriots injury report on their website, and I think I saw it said halftime. So.
One.
Okay.
Wait, are we doing the old rules?
Halftime. Yep. The entirety of halftime in the NFL is 13 minutes. So.
I mean, I'll say 2. 2 going once. 2 going twice. Wow,
3.
Sold to Bo. Oh, 3. 3 for Zach. Betting on the Desai defense.
Wait, I do have to.
They're better than the Gannett defense. What's that?
I do have to say, I'm very proud of Zach over the last few pods, really pushing back a little more,
I agree.
Get in on Bo. So, since I've gone on leave, Zach, I'm very proud of you. And I like the creative heater was probably the best moment in podcast history. I was listening on the airplane, and I swear I was like laughing out loud. I was like, this is awesome. I actually told Bo I wanted to get a shirt made, but I didn't know that I was coming on this with enough time from when I had listened to the pod. I would have overnighted something that said, I heart creative heaters. That's what was my plan. But
let's just hope I have a 2023 creative heater as well. So.
Yes. So I'm proud of you, Zach.
Thank you, Marissa. I appreciate it.
I echo that. 3 going once. 3 going twice. Sold to Zach for the Patriots, scoring like 9 points. Good for you, Zach. All right. Marissa, since you finished second last year, you can go second.
Okay. I'm going to try and make these all a little sentimental. So there will be 5 or more touchdowns in the game.
Combined.
1,
2,
3,
4,
5,
6, 6 going once.
7.
Ooh.
7 going once. 7 going twice.
8.
7. Oh, 8 stolen by MD. 8 going once. 8 going twice. Sold to Marissa.
Okay.
At least 5 touchdowns. That's a good one. All right, I'm gonna go. Jalen Carter gets a sack within his first 5 pass rush snaps, or a quarterback hit on his very first pass rush snap. So the idea here is that Jalen Carter makes an immediate impact as a pass rusher. I will go 1.
On his snaps, not the first 5 snaps of the game, right?
Right, his snaps, but they have to be pass rushing snaps.
Okay. 2.
2 going once. 2 going twice. Can't take the turkeys with you. Sold to Marissa. Nice one.
Okay.
Patriots guards are all banged up.
Yeah.
Not even clear who's going to start.
All right, Dane is. It's over to you.
All right. So I also wanted to do a little bit of nostalgia of various forms. It's a game against the Patriots, which, of course, reminds us of the Super Bowl. And I was trying to think, like, what link is there?
I went up to Brandon Graham
so long ago.
I went up to Brandon Graham in the locker room this week, and I was like, "Hey, have you ever sacked the Patriots?" He's like, "Yeah, I got Brady a couple times but he was talking about the regular season. He wasn't even talking about the Super Bowl, which he has. He's got them. Yeah. Anyway, go ahead.
That's funny. So the thing that I thought would be kind of fun to like look for during the game links back to that game a little bit in that the one of the Eagles who was on that team is now on the Patriots, and that of course is the Green Goblin, Jalen Mills. So Jalen Mills does his famous finger wag at some point, and it doesn't have to be like after a play, like after an incompletion. Like even if it's just like into the camera or like just something to even pander to Eagles fans or whatever, like something that he is seen somehow like doing the finger wag at any point. Regular auction. Yeah.
Okay.
I forgot we have to specify the type of auction it is. Yes.
Nobody topped my 3, right?
No.
Okay. 3 going once. 3 going twice. I'll take the Jalen Mills finger wag.
So
fun to look for
full disclosure, I have a Jalen Mills and a Jalen Carter item in here. Should I change both of them, or would we have 2 Jalen Mills items?
That's up to you.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll just continue on my list and then we'll figure it out. Okay.
Okay.
DeAndre Swift has more catches than any Miles Sanders game last year. So Miles Sanders' high last year was 3. So DeAndre Swift would need to have 4 catches in this game in order to surpass that.
Good one. You're opening the bidding at 1?
Open the bidding at 1.
I'll say 2.
Let's go 3.
I think I'm out on this one.
I'll say 4.
4 going
I can't be this pained at this early in the juncture.
I'm not pained at all. I got other stuff.
4 going twice. What's on your mind, Zach?
How much I enjoy doing the pod with the 3 of you. Yes.
Are you topping me, or are you letting me have it at 4?
You'll have it at 4.
Okay.
Sold.
Marissa.
To give a sense of how low the standard is that we have to like look for these running backs to replace Miles Sanders' receiving stats from last year. Miles Sanders averaged 3.9 receiving yards per game last year.
Yes.
So.
Okay, Marissa, go ahead.
Okay. Jalen Hurts mentions or is asked about Tom Brady in his post-game press conference.
Good one.
And I discussed this one with Michael, and I said, should I say that they can't ask? He said,
Yeah.
you can't tell them how to do their job.
Listen,
So,
if my last act as an athletic reporter is crossing the lines of journalistic integrity, I got to do what I got to do.
Okay, I will say that my journalistic integrity is unimpeachable, and I would never do something for my own edification.
well, what if you needed
One.
What if it pertained to some
If it pertains to
storyline?
the game, if it pertains to the game.
Yeah, don't you? I mean, I know deep down inside you want to know what Jalen Hurts thinks of Tom Brady.
Did 2021 not happen? Right? Like we know what he thinks of Tom Brady. 2.
I'll go 3.
4.
4 going once. 4 going twice.
5. What the heck?
You can have it for 5.
5 going once. 5 going twice. Sold to Marissa. 9 turkeys left for Marissa. I'm up. All right. Going on concurrently with the Eagles game on Sunday afternoon will be the final of the U.S. Open on the men's side. Now, Carlos Alcaraz, not guaranteed to get there. He is going to have to beat Daniil Medvedev tonight. But boy, am I enjoying watching Carlos Alcaraz. The item here, Carlos Alcaraz, games won on Sunday afternoon is higher than Eagles points. So this could be as little as 0. He could lose tonight. And it could be as only the absolute high that it could be is 32. But more likely to be if it goes 5 sets with Novak, you're talking about 26-ish, something like that. We'll see. I will go 2, open the bidding there.
I've been very into this U.S. Open too. I'm learning tennis, and I was rooting for Francis Tiafoe, College Park guy, but unfortunately,
yes,
he lost.
Ben Shelton took him out.
Yes, I'll go 3.
3 going once. I think the Eagles going to score some points. I don't know. I'll go 4.
Okay.
4 going once.
You can have it.
4 going twice. Sold. All right. Dana, it's up to you.
All right. What are the turkeys remaining, real quick?
I have 13. Zach has 21. Marissa has 9.
Okay. So we have to do a funky auction for nostalgia, obviously.
Of course.
So we're going to do one of the kind of classic favorites in this category among people who like these, which might be a minority,
Yeah.
It is the live auction where you're gonna be bidding, like normal, but the top 2 bidders both pay their bid, and only the top one gets the item. So if someone says 3, whoever said 2 also has to pay 2, right?
Got it.
So it's that one. So we've done this a couple of times, so you guys know the drill.
That's the one that screwed me over in the I remember.
Yes, it has. It's not the only one, but it is one of them. Yes. And the item is
Professor on Professor Crime right here.
Oh wow, that's the item is the Eagles win the game.
Okay.
Anyone can start.
1. One going once. 1 going twice.
2.
Good.
Okay, so you both just bid there.
I got it in first.
Yeah, both said 2 first, so I guess Zach's 2 doesn't count.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because you can't say 2 when it's already 2. Yeah.
2 going once.
3.
3 going once. 3 going twice. Well, Marissa gets it. Good job, Marissa.
So Bo pays
And
two.
I'm
Bo
down to
pays
11 turkeys.
two.
Yes.
Okay. I'm really liking my board here.
Yeah, I like your board too. All right, Zach, your last swooper prompt as an employee of the Athletic.
Okay. The Eagles have a negative play on special teams as defined by the audience in the post-game pod. So
No,
Negative-
no. Too negative. What do you mean a negative play? I mean,
like if they give up a 15-yard punt return, but that's it, that's what I'm saying, as defined by the audience.
yeah,
in the
but
post-game
who's
pod.
gonna do? Are you gonna poll everybody in the chat? This
If
is not. You
you're-
could get the whole Berman family to go in the chat and say there was a negative play, even if there wasn't. It's got to be. It's got to be
I gotta tell
more
you something.
clearly defined.
4:30 game, there's Sunday Night Football on. The Berman family's not watching Birds with Friends when
I know,
Sunday
but
Night Football's going on.
It has to be more specifically defined than that.
All right, so Professor Selman and Marissa, how would you define a negative play on special teams?
A blocked kick, a return inside the 20-yard line. I mean, like, is a missed field goal going to count?
No, it's more no. All right, here. All right. The Eagles will have either a turnover on special teams or allow a return inside the 25-yard line,
Okay.
or have a field goal or kick blocked.
Okay, that's good.
Okay.
One.
You can add one more thing to it. Maybe allow a first down on a fake. Maybe.
Okay.
Oh,
that's
yes.
good.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yes. Yes.
We saw that last night, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
2.
Three.
How many
Three going
items
once.
does Zach have?
Just
One.
one. Three going twice.
4.
4 going once. 4 going twice. Sold to Zach.
Okay.
All right, Marissa, your
I love
last
that
one.
the apocalypse.
While Zach is
the
an
apocalypse is
athletic
coming, and this is like the last swooper in history, and Zach is still saving his turkeys. It's so good.
Okay. Well, this swooper.
The apocalypse is not coming. Okay, the apocalypse is not coming. It's just a happy day.
This swooper is.
Why are you
for
wearing
Zach.
black then? Okay.
I'm very disappointed I didn't have my pyramid scheme shirt or
Mm.
Madison's pyramid scheme shirt. They're in New Jersey, unfortunately. Okay. My final swooper is dedicated to Zach. And it is Johnny Gans wins on Sunday.
Nice.
Oh, against the
That's a good one.
Commanders,
They
huh?
go to Washington as like 6-7 point underdogs.
1.
But you know the guys are going to play hard for him. I'll say 2. I'll throw a 2 out there.
They're all gonna take the bus there.
Yeah.
2 going once.
3.
Let's
3
let
going
Zach
once.
get this one, Bo. So he has to root for it.
Yeah, but Zach needs stuff.
Yeah, that's true. All right, I'll go 4.
I'll say. Oh, okay. You
I
got
don't
it.
have many turkeys left.
4 going once. 4 going twice. Marissa gets
5.
it. Oh, 5. 5 going
5.
once. 5 going twice. Sold to Zach.
That's
Gets his
number.
boy. Gans win. All right, here's mine. I got to give you a classic random Bo Wolf one. The Eagles, over the course of this game on offense, have a play that gains 1 yard, 2 yards, 3 yards, 4 yards, 5 yards, 6 yards, 7 yards, 8 yards, 9 yards, and 10 yards. Over the course of the game, they hit every number from 1 to 10
Ooh,
as an offensive gain in this game.
I like that. I'm shocked we've never done one like that. 1. That's real fun to root for.
I'm assuming you haven't checked like how many times this happened last year.
Of course not.
For example. Yeah.
I will say 2.
3.
Zach has checked out. He has no interest in this one.
I don't have interest in this one. No.
3 going twice.
I'll say 4.
5.
All right, so you only have 6 left. So do I take this, but then I have the least amount of turkeys left? Do I want that? But otherwise, I can't outbid Zach for the other one anyway. So whatever it is, there's no reason for me to
5
save this
going
turkeys.
once.
Worst thing I could do is go home with turkeys.
5 going twice.
6.
Dang.
6 going once. 6 going twice. Sold to Bo.
Zach doesn't even know what this item is.
Nope,
So.
his eyes have glossed over. All right, Dana is the
What's the
last
highest-
swooper.
What?
Oh.
What's the highest number you said, Bo? Is 10 the highest one?
10.
Last happened?
Yeah.
I'm just.
Yeah,
I
it
was
feels
just
pretty unlikely.
I was just looking at my notes from just one game, and it was the Super Bowl, and they had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9, but they did not
Ooh,
have.
but not 10.
Yeah.
Oh, so that's gonna.
I was
happen.
surprised. I was surprised that there were even all the other ones.
No,
I mean,
I don't think it's going to happen because
yeah.
there will probably be fewer plays, a little bit less offense than even that game.
Right.
10 specifically like 8, 9, 10-yard gains those ones will be tough.
But
to
that will be a real.
Yeah, like
fun
1, 2,
root
3, and
for.
4 probably happen in every game, but like the other
Right.
ones are.
hit. Okay.
But if you're in the press box and the second half's a blowout, that's going to be a fun one to watch.
That's true. All right, then is our last one.
Complaining about what the official scorer rules it if it's
Yeah.
kind of in between.
Oh, I will definitely do that. All right, what do you got for us? I have 5 turkeys left. Marissa has 6. Zach has 12. But he might want to save some.
I don't even know. I haven't even thought about all the ramifications of this, but the item is there will be another. So I don't even know how this will work, but there will be another swooper forecasting with the 3 of you as contestants later this season.
With
That's
Marissa,
the item.
I hope. Goodness, I hope so.
5
6.
7.
sold to Zach, and he gets to go home with extra turkeys, just like he wanted. All right.
And he has incentive to make it happen.
That's right. So Zach has, there will be another swooper with the 3 of us. Johnny Gans gets the W. There is a negative play on special teams, and the Tom Brady ceremony lasts longer in minutes than the Patriots points scored. Marissa has, there are at least 5 touchdowns scored in the game. I think that was a great value for you. I think I'm feeling good about Marissa's chances. Jalen Carter hits that immediate impact play. Jalen Hurts is asked about Tom Brady or talks about Tom Brady in his post-game press conference, and the Eagles win the game. You've got 2 very good ones. I have Jalen Mills wags his finger. DeAndre Swift has at least 4 catches. Carlos Alcaraz wins more games than the Eagles score points. And the Eagles hit every number on the 1 to 10 bingo card of yards gained. What a ride.
Yours are fun.
Marissa, we love you.
I'm
Thank
so
you for
happy to be
taking
back.
time.
Like, I don't want this pod to end.
It may not. Although I guess I got to get to the thrifty store before the place before they close. That's really my only hard out.
Yeah.
This is not our last pod either. We have the post game pod.
Yeah, but I don't want Marissa to have to tune into that one live.
When is that? What time they play? 4:30?
Yeah, it's probably going to be like 1 a.m.er.
Well, Madison's been sleeping very well, actually. So we have been going to bed well, I say we. I have been going to bed relatively early, like midnight. But
Okay.
if I'm around, I'll pop in.
Okay.
Or if I win Swooper, which will happen.
There you go. I think that will happen. Daniz?
Defending champ, Marissa.
Well, that's
know.
not true. I do want to open the floor to you here and give you a chance, for old time's sake, to unburden yourself of your thoughts after reading the Jonathan Gannon article on The Athletic.
Oh my God. Zach, I don't know if you remember, I was on right around this time last year, and you said that you could maybe introduce me to Jonathan. That, we could have a couple of beers, and you said that you thought I would like him. And, if I'll still, I'd be very happy to sit down with him and discuss things. Like, I think that would be good for my mental health, if you're still willing to do that.
I didn't read this story yet. I have to read it.
I will. I'm just gonna a brief insertion here. One of the it might be a shortcoming of
That
mine.
could be a T-shirt.
Bo, that's why you're you. Dynamite dropping. No, I tend to see the good in people, right? Probably a little too much, and the good in things, and so yeah. So it's hard for me to kind of defend some of the stuff Jonathan did there, but every interaction I've had with him, he's been nice and thoughtful, and that's kind of what I've gone off of. But anyways, proceed.
Yeah, and I mean, I made references to this before. I mean, there's no way that you climb the ladder and you become that successful without convincing people that are around you that you are something that you're not, right? Like, I mean, he's clearly a con man. He's clearly a pathological liar. He's clearly not good at actually coaching football, which leads to the next thing of well, what is he good at? And he's clearly good at tricking people by lying to them. And it's almost boring. It's almost boring at this point to have more and more confirmation of how right those of us who saw that for the last 2 years were. And it's also really sad because, I was in the stands in Phoenix and that sucked. And it was exactly what I was thinking was going to happen.
There were 11 players on the field.
The first time this team plays a real quarterback, this defense is going to get exposed and we're going to lose the Super Bowl because of it. And it's exactly what happened, and it sucked. And now we're learning that he wasn't even really focused on the game and all this other stuff. Now he's blaming other people and he's lying about he's the one who told Nick to give up plays. All that stuff is just it's boring how right I was, and I don't even get any joy out of it. It's just anyway.
They're not focused on the game.
Making me angry to even think about it. What's up?
They're not focused on the game thing. I think that's a little much. Shane Steichen literally interviewed for the Colts job during that period. All that the only difference here is that.
Yeah, but he did it when he was allowed to do it.
No, it's just that the Cardinals didn't request permission to have the.
Yeah, that part might be overblown, and it probably shouldn't be one of the top 10 reasons that I dislike him. You're right, but whatever. I mean, there's no just how historically bad that was. I mean, I've tweeted about it, and I don't want to bore people with the stats again, but that in that article, there's an implication that it was a play here and there, it was these two plays, and one of them was my fault, one of them wasn't, or whatever. And it's no, it was pretty much every single play of the second half. It was an unbelievable streak of badly badly played snaps by the defense, and you can kind of point to the calls on almost all of them, which is not surprising. It's exactly what happened against good quarterbacks the year before. He's never had a good game as a defensive coordinator against a good quarterback, a single one. And, and now he never will. He's not calling the defense anymore. So, and that's it. And he's never going to be defense coordinator again either, because he's going, after this year, he's going to be assistant safeties coach for the Commanders or something. And that's exactly where he should be. So, all right. Anyway,
got it off your chest. That was good.
Yeah. I want something positive.
I really
couple of
feel
clips from the preseason. Looking at a little bit of the preseason film, which they made available for the first time ever. There are a couple of plays where I know the defense tries to be vanilla in the preseason, but there have been a couple of plays where there's already more excitement for Sean Desai than I ever had for Gannon just from those. So I'm hoping that we see some interesting coverages and some hidden things and that kind of thing more this year, and hopefully it'll be. I think the points made by Bo on the last episode were really good about how you want to invite variance against good offenses, and I think that game awareness wise, strategy wise, that kind of stuff, I'm hoping will be better under Desai. So.
All right. Should we get to our Crystal Ball Deagle predictions for this game?
Let's do it.
All right. Go ahead, Zach.
Okay. So let me pull up my notes here again. So as I mentioned at the top of the pod, the Eagles are the better team. It's not even close in terms of talent. I understand week one games provide a degree of uncertainty. I understand this is going to be an emotionally charged crowd, considering Tom Brady he's being honored. That's it.
And I would add on that, like it is one of the very few games in which Eagles fans will not really be able to travel much for because the prices are so ridiculous.
Good point. The Patriots lost their last 2 home openers. Okay, let's just put that out there. They have favorable matchups. They're healthy. They've had time to prepare. I don't see this game being close. I'm surprised by the point spread here. I could see New England trying to slow this game down by running the ball. I could see them really trying to take advantage of the safeties in the middle of the field with those tight ends. But I see a comfortable win. I see the offense playing well. I see the defense doing just enough, and I see the Eagles winning 28-17.
Marissa? How about a Browns prediction?
The Browns are going to win, and the Eagles are going to win.
Beautiful.
That's my prediction.
Dennis?
Yeah, I mean, week 1's always weird, and I think the game will probably be close. But yeah, I mean, I think I think.
Do you want to go now? You did predict last year the Eagles would go to the Super Bowl, so I would just let's get your preseason prediction here. Whether you want to double down on that.
Yeah. So last year I said 13-4, and that I would see you guys in Phoenix. Saw you guys in Phoenix. It was 14-3, so I was off by a game.
That's a nice dinner.
We
got to see Paul McCartney.
Oh yeah, that was. We see. So Marissa, I don't know if you know this. We see Paul McCartney, and Bo gets out his phone and he's taking a photo of Paul McCartney as he's like getting in his van, and Zach's acting all embarrassed. He's like, "Man, you gotta act like you've been there."
I mostly just wanted to prove it.
It's Paul McCartney. Like it's like act like you've been there. Like I mean,
yeah, don't take pictures of the man. Come on.
I didn't ask him for his autograph.
Yeah.
I thought
I think
it's
it's
totally
creepier.
normal thing to do.
I think it's creepier to take a picture of someone from a distance than it is to ask them for their autograph.
Really? Oh,
Yes.
how many people you think take his picture?
Well, that's
Do you know how
I
many
mean,
pictures I've taken of you, Zach?
that is a weird comment to make. Okay. But I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you, Professor Summon.
No, I thought it was totally normal, and I thought it was very. I just thought it was very funny that you were like act like you've been there. So it was good.
And so, what's your prediction?
There's been a lot made of the schedule this year being harder, and obviously, like if you use like the more modern way to look at a schedule of an opponent expected over under wins, the Eagles are actually middle of the road there, like middle of the road. The average expected wins for their opponents is a little bit over 8, which is actually under 500. But it's like a lot of really easy games and a lot of really hard games, right? And you'd rather probably have like a bunch of middle of the road games,
Especially when you are a good team.
Yeah, exactly. So like that metric is skewed a little bit by the fact that there's a game against Arizona, for example, right? Like it makes it look easier. But the game doesn't have to be against Arizona for it to be a win. Like it can be against Indianapolis, it would still be, right? So there are 6 games against teams that are ranked in the top 7 for Super Bowl championship odds, including 5 games in a row against teams that are ranked in the top 6. And by contrast, the entire season last year, the Eagles only had 1 game against a team that was in the preseason top 9. And that was the Packers. And by the time the Packers came to the link, like they were not a top 9 team. So there were basically like no games the entire year against like a true contender. And this year there's going to be that brutal stretch of 5 games in a row against teams that are in the top 6. They all won 12 games last year. They were all in divisional playoffs and so on. So I think that the schedule is going to be a challenge. We don't know about the defense, obviously, the safeties, the linebackers, the defense coordinator, et cetera, all that kind of stuff, all the unknowns. But man, I think that this is the most confident I've ever been as a fan going into a season,
Really?
like ever. That's probably true for a lot of fans. I heard Jimmy Kempski say the other day that he's for the first time ever he's predicting the Eagles to win the Super Bowl. I feel like that's happening with some other people as well. It's the first time they're ever doing it. And I told Emily last year that going to Phoenix with Feldman for the Super Bowl. Was a special case. It wasn't going to be a precedent. And in the last couple of months, I've been trying to, give clues, some subtle, some
Well, this one's not in
so subtle.
Phoenix. That was special.
Well, yeah, exactly. It's another part of the desert this year. But I am trying to slowly get permission to go to take that weekend off from parenting, so that
Vegas,
Feldman and I don't want to speak for Feldman, but that Feldman and I will join you guys.
Guys, weekend in Vegas. Let's do it.
Exactly. Let's do it. We can.
There he is, creeping out.
All kinds of game theory to be applied,
hornball.
Zach.
What's that?
There he is.
Who doesn't like Vegas?
I don't love Vegas.
What?
I'm gonna give the exact same. I don't really like Vegas either, but it'll be great for this.
I'm honestly shocked that Zach likes Vegas because the way he conserves his turkeys. Like,
good point.
I mean, I like Vegas, but I'm shocked, Zach.
I mean,
well, I think we're going to be there again.
Knowing to fold them, right? Knowing to walk away, knowing to run.
And the stat that a lot of people will point to is the concept that a lot of people will point to is Super Bowl losers not doing well. That's true. The 2018 Patriots won the Super Bowl after losing the Super Bowl. If you take them out of it, so they're the exception. The last team to win the Super Bowl, who lost the Super Bowl before, is the 72 Dolphins. So that Patriots team 2018 is the only one of the last 50 Super Bowl losers to go win the Super Bowl, and only one of the last 29 have even gotten back. The Bills teams that kept going back were the last team to go back until the 18 Patriots. So it's true that it's rare. I think there's a little bit something to that as well. I don't think it's just random, but I think that something about Jalen Hurts and all the other leaders on this team make me super confident that whatever the mental, psychological pitfalls that typical Super Bowl losers have aren't going to happen with this team. The guy seems just perfectly prepared for this and the big time. And we saw how he played in the game. And with Johnny Gann's not there this time, I think the Eagles are going to win. And we're going to have a parade, which is what always happens when Bo Wolf gets a new job. So there we go.
That's true. That is true. That is the precedent. So we'll keep that in mind. On a smaller scale, the journey to that potential ending, I think will begin on Sunday. I do think it will be a win for the Eagles. I do think it will be close. I do think the Eagles will have a little bit of trouble moving the ball early, but over the course of the game, their talent will win out. I have the Eagles winning this game 26-23, we'll call it. You get the Jalen Hurts hasn't led a game-winning drive at the end of a game type thing. They might get that. I then see the post-game podcast starting at about 1:15, and by about 2:45.
Wait. It's a 4:25 game. How are we doing a 1:15 pod?
I mean, you got to write your send-off, don't you?
Okay, so the game ends at 7:30. I'm finished at 10:30. I'm finished writing at 10:30, 11. A 1:15 pod?
And so then I then envision that by about 2:45, Zach is starting to get pretty frustrated and exasperated that the final Birds with Friends has not yet ended.
Yes.
And then by about 3:30, he's just getting angry. And then by about 4, it starts to turn again, and it becomes delirious, and everybody's having a good time. And I believe the show may never end. And who knows? We'll see. It could. I believe that we have a chance on Sunday night, Monday morning to set the record for the longest post-game pod in Birds with Friends history.
Well,
what is that? What is the number?
I don't know. That's why we have to go so long that it cannot even be in doubt.
Okay. I'm pretty sure the one OSP, so not pod, just post-game pod.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I mean, we could try to go for the longest ever. Yeah, that first Osprey, that Shield Ospreys.
It was like 3 hours.
Yeah, I think that could be fun.
Zach's already yawning.
like
I haven't slept much in a while. Sunday night, I'm hoping at least to get a few hours.
Okay. Well, it's not like we're gonna have a busy week next week, Zach. The Eagles only have a Thursday night game coming up.
Precisely. Yes.
Okay.
That's brutal,
All right.
by the way. There should not be Thursday night football on week 2. It's really bad. Right.
I agree. Nevertheless, there will be. So that'll do it for this episode of Birds with Friends. What a ride. What a ride it's been. For the last time for now from our home offices. To all the sickos who we love so much. I appreciate there's a conversation in the live chat going on about where these people can meet again. I think there's talk of a Discord. I can promise that wherever the next landing spot is, there will be an opportunity for that interaction to happen.
That's why I'm not so sad that you two are departing together. It's like going off holding hands.
Do you think Zach's actually happy about that, or do you think he's a little bit like, what am I doing? I could have gotten away.
I think it makes change easier when someone is along for the ride with you. So I'm going to say he thinks it's easier.
I hope so.
Oh yeah. No, it's not a matter of easier. It's like I said, I love doing Birds with Friends with Bo. And yeah, Bo and I
think he just said he doesn't love doing it with you, Marissa.
No,
I heard the word love in there. So I just was stuck on.
He told me he loved me the other day.
So
yeah, so no, that was a big part of this is that we get to channel what we've done here for 4 years and build upon it. So
I'm excited for you guys. It's going to be great. And the sickos
I think we can say that yes,
yeah.
the thing that has been our favorite part of the job is this show, and the opportunity to build that out a little bit is exciting to us. And with that said, the only thing that related to this show I'm really going to miss is working with Marissa, and I would love to find a way to make that happen at some point down the line.
Well, I obviously am going to really miss working with you guys, but it doesn't mean that I won't stop texting you 24/7 about random football things, Madison things, silly Michael stories. So yeah, that won't change.
Beautiful. So for Marissa, for Deniz, for Zach, for Kent, for Sheil, for Tim, for Coach Flynn, for Handsome Rich, for Rich Bobby, for Tim Kawakami, and all the other guests we've had along the way. We thank you for listening. We will talk to you on Sunday night, deep into Monday morning.
Oh, please, not that deep.
We thank you for your listenership over the years. And as I look for the closing graphic, I'll remind you, as always, Marissa, how did you do this so seamlessly?
I don't have access.
I remind you, as always, where is it? Where's BWFN? Outro. Here we go. Okay. I remind you, as always, for all those people, that we love you.
Birds with Friends.